the new Patriotic Party and its members have purpose in their hearts to every now and then waste the time of the people of Ghana with bizarre and illogical statements. Otherwise, how can any reasonable human being have a problem with a move by the president to cut costs so that funds available to government can be channeled into priority areas? I mean, how can any reasonable human being have a problem with that? The truth is that it costs some money to run government. And President Mahama believes that ways must be found to limit that cost to only essential expenditure, so that we'll be able to save resources to pop into the needs of our people. Because there are many areas that we are unable to meet the needs of our people. And the only way we can do that is to mobilize resources every way we can to be able to meet that particular objective. Now, one of the ways that he finds we can do that is by looking into government expenditure and taking out those expenditure items that can be done away with, that are not essential, and which public officials themselves can bear. This is intended to lighten the load and make sure that we don't spend too much money running government. So you will recall that when he became president, and in keeping with his promise, he reduced the size of government. Now we have 60 ministers as opposed to a certain time under the MPP when they had 120 ministers. Unless they are suggesting that it makes sense for a country like ours to have 120 ministers, and that it is better to have 120 ministers, spend all that money on them and achieve the disastrous results that they achieved, than it is to have 60 ministers who are running the country in a much better fashion than before. And the results are there for all of us to see. The economy is doing well, and what have you. Look, government is big. Look at the number of ministers, 60. Number of presidential staff and other appointees in various places. All of us drawing fuel on a weekly basis puts a significant strain on the public purse. In much the same way as a teacher would make arrangements for his own or her own accommodation to go to school to teach, government officials should be able to leave home and come to work without receiving any fuel from government. I don't think that it is something that government officials cannot bear. So the president believes strongly that it is needless expenditure that we can do away with. And so he asked that it be stopped immediately, effective yesterday.
But people, there are also concerns that that is not bold enough, especially when you are not telling us, or you are not telling the country how much you are saving in terms of this cost-cutting measure that you've taken. So do you have an average amount that we are saving?
It runs into millions of Ghana cedis. But you know how much it costs to fill a vehicle as we speak. And government officials receive this every week. So you can imagine how much it costs. It runs into millions of Ghana. Indeed, the computations are being done. And we will put it out once it is ready. But I can tell you that it runs into millions of Ghana cedis. I used to receive fuel. Indeed, way back when I was deputy minister, between 2013 and 2017, I used to receive 150 cedis in fuel coupons every week. At the time, it was significant. Now it may seem like something so, but it was significant if you look at the corresponding rates at the time. Now, every week, I'm supposed to have my vehicle filled for me. Meanwhile, it is not necessarily for travel or anything. It's just so that I can make rounds within the city, move from the house to this place, move from here to the house, or go for any official function that I have to go to. Now, the president thinks that that is wasteful, and I agree entirely. So he says we should stop it. So that is savings that we can then channel into other priority areas for government. I don't see how any reasonable person can have a difficulty with this. I mean, how can an opposition party that has lost in the terrible fashion that the MPP did not show any form of contrition and continue to peddle these bizarre, illogical arguments and seek to trivialize important matters? And indeed, you are in the media space, and so you've seen the public reaction to this announcement. You see how well it has been received. It's an indication that the people of Ghana want things done differently, and that they want government to operate in a manner that saves costs, that ensures that resources are channeled into those areas that are most critical. And that is precisely what President Mahama is doing.
But they argue that it is certain because you've not shut down the fuel pump at the Jubilee House, here at the Jubilee House, and that other one at the castle. Are those two fuel stations working?
First of all, does that claim make sense to you? So all the government officials in Ghana, they come to the Jubilee House to draw fuel. Is that what they say? So the minister who sits in Tamale, or the one who sits in the Ashanti region, or in the east, they all come to the Jubilee House every morning to draw fuel. Is that the claim that...
Maybe probably the other stations that they draw.
That claim does not make sense. It is not properly thought through. Let me say that the fuel station here actually does not function. It is not functioning, so nobody can go there to draw fuel. I can also assure you that the one at the castle, which has been there for years, as of yesterday, no government official could draw fuel from there. Everybody who went there was turned away. So it is not a place where government officials can go and draw fuel as of yesterday when the president issued the directive.
So from what you are saying, is it the case that there will no longer be fuel supply to that depot at the castle?
No, as far as I'm concerned, no, not for government officials.